Welcome back to Rockvox. We're back with another voice analysis, and this time it's from your comments. And actually, we got two comments requesting this. The first one said, "Great video, thank you. Thank you. I would love to hear your analysis on Chester Bennington's vocals." The other comment says, "One of the singers I feel most perplexed by from a CVT perspective is Chester Bennington. The choruses of Crawling and Lying From You are good examples. Such vowel freedom. And with what feels like pretty ample metal throughout. Is he just using curbing on the full metallic incompatible vowels, e.g. confusing in Crawling, but getting it to sound so metallic through distortion? Would love to hear your thoughts either in a comment or a video." So it's going to be a video.
I have to confess, I was really excited to see these two comments as well, that this singer had been suggested, because completely coincidentally, two of my students have actually requested this song fairly recently. So I've had to analyze it anyway, and I've been working on that song with them.
So we're doing Crawling by Linkin Park. We're going to listen to the beginning chorus. So the song starts with a chorus, and it sounds like this. Very cool.
Very cool. I think there are quite a few things that you could talk about here. I don't know much about the detail of the production, but I could also imagine that there may be a clean vocal in there that is articulating in a very clean way, without a distortion and without quite as much volume. That's a possibility. It's a studio recording. You can use tricks like this. Is that true, Ivan? What do you think?
Well, to me, it sounds more like, first of all, it's double-tracked. I'm quite sure of that. You can hear the doubling on the vocal. It sounds like the same singer singing it twice, but still two voices. But if anything, I feel like there's an additional layer of grit, which I think could be a third layer that is fry-screamed. What I believe is happening, and of course that's my take on it, is that you can get away with something that sounds fairly close to an ooh in edge, especially reduced density edge, if you modify it a bit closer to the sort of an so basically, if you attempt to articulate something close to an ooh while keeping the back of your tongue touching the upper molars. So that sort of can't feel. So if I went for the standard curbing, it would be sort of can't feel, oh, more held back. With this trick, can't feel, I can keep it more feel. Sounds a bit more metallic, a bit more robust, and a bit more in line with hey, not quite as loud, but you can't feel. So whether you want to call it curbing or reduced density edge, I will say that compared to typical curbing, I find, first of all, that I am able to get it slightly louder. And second of all, that it doesn't feel as held back, which I'm achieving by borrowing edge tricks. So you're free to call it whatever you want, but it's, I believe, a matter of where you draw the border. But the thing is, I am taking an oo vowel and modifying it to get closer to an edge position. And that's what I hear in this recording. I don't hear it sounding like confuse. It sounds more like confuse. So when I listen to the and of course with distortion, confusing what is real.
Yeah, and I think you hit on something there that I think is with his stylistic, especially when I watch him live as well. And I think just a little pro tip, if you want to make your life easier analyzing a singer, look at the live performances and see how they tackle their work live, because it's usually, it looks a little different to what you hear in the studios. Oftentimes, I see with Chester when he's performing live, you can often see he's got the mic here, and fairly consistently as well, like right in front of his mouth, which is great. And I also hear him, as you said, taking the volume back, and so whereas one singer might go. Crawling through my skin with open vowels and a clear distortion. He would tend to take this volume back a little bit and be more crawling through my skin. And you can hear the distortion starts to get a little bit more diffused. And yeah, this gives him then the freedom as well to take back the volume just a little bit more if he needs to, and do something like real, and just go back to something more Friar-based, something maybe even a little bit grunty from time to time. He's got the freedom there to really play with that sound and manipulate it. I also hear with the vowels exactly what you described, this edge-like direction with a confuse. He can really, yeah.
But I would say not quite as far. So instead of doing a confuse, which would be a typical edge vowel, I hear him do a bit more confuse, which we might not put as a center edge vowel. But it's still keeping that. Basically, all of the edge vowels keep the back of the tongue glued to the upper molars.
Yeah. So, pro tip of the video could be to go phew, to go from the to the oo, and use that as your home position, your center, and then work towards the more closed oo from there.
Yes, and apart from that, of course, keeping a bite. For all of it. And it's interesting for words like heel and real, how he ends those. Instead of real, he goes to real.
You can really hear it clearly in the studio album as well. As it's funny because we've got the confuse, and you think, oh, that sounds really articulated, yeah, with the oo. Confusing what is real. And then he goes to the towards the end there.
First of all, it makes it sound cooler. Makes it sound bigger than the E. Real wouldn't give it that much punch. So the O goes to overdrive and gives it a bit shoutier character. Real! Basically, I would say that's what Chester is doing. If we are talking directions, I would say he is slightly reduced in density. I wouldn't say it's super held back. It's not very reduced in density. Because we need to remember density is a spectrum. So oftentimes we split it into like fuller density, reduced density, like those are the two boxes. And pedagogically, that makes sense because we need boundaries to be able to define things. But in actual life, it's more of a spectrum. So he is reducing the density somewhat, but not putting on a huge hold.
It might just be worth mentioning that the fry sound, if you do go back to that, as he does from time to time, to try not to take this creaky fry sound too loud, because that can become uncomfortable. So try should you increase the volume from like a where you've got all this diffuse noise going on. If you do increase the volume, try and take it back to a clear distortion, and it always makes sense to check the mode. And just double check that you're not creaking within the mode. So yeah, have fun. We hope these tips were useful.
So if you like this video, please subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, comment. We said we need to do this.
Just remembered, yes.
So comment who you'd like to see us analyze next, and share the video with your friends and family. And enemies.
And enemies, yes.
Just for good measure.
Spam them with it.